Hey guys, and welcome. I'll start from where the book ended. Starting from chapter 33. Miko. I have the book on my phone, Kindle, so yeah. Chapter 33. Miko. I meet Giorossi outside of the brass pole to hand the keys over. His payment hit my bank account this morning. He'll be the new owner of both my strip clubs, minus the one Nero Gallo burned down. Russo pulls up in his Bentley. He's a short, stocky man, completely bald, with hands as puffy as cartoon gloves. He looks pleased and suspicious about our deal. Now that it's settled, he says, tucking the keys in his pocket, why don't you tell me the real reason you wanted to sell? What is it? Have men lost their taste in titties? He gave a wheezy laugh. No, I say stiffly. I'm just moving in different direction. By God, he says, shaking his head in amazement. They said you've gone crazy over a girl, but I. He breaks off, seeing my expression. He swallows hard, his Adam's apple bobbing up and down. Are you going to finish that sentence? I ask him coldly. No, he mutters, staring down at my shoes. My apologies, Mikolaj. You can thank that girl for putting me in such a good mood, I tell him. Otherwise, I would snap your fucking neck. I walk back to the car, where Ollie is just waiting to drive me over to jungle. Trouble, boss? He asks me, and I slide into the back seat. No, I say. Just people forgetting their place in the world. I might have to make an example out of somebody. Russo would be a good place to start. Ollie grunts. He snaps his gun. I noticed. I'm not sorry to let the strip club go. There are too many other things to sell in this world. I don't have the same taste for trading women as a commodity. I'm not getting rid of Jungle though. That was the first place I ever laid eyes on Nessa. And I'm so reformed, and I'm not so reformed that I'm above selling liquor. In fact, I've got plans to open 6 more clubs here and in St. Louis. There'll still be room to expand in Chicago and in neighboring cities, as of yet unclaimed. I plan to renovate the house too. Nessa doesn't want me to change it, but I tell her we should at least have proper heating. Why? She says. I don't care if it gets cold, we can cuddle up together. That's fine for us, but what about children? She looks up at me, green eyes wide. Do you want children? She asks quietly. I never did before, but with Nessa, I want everything. I want every experience life has to offer, as long as it's with her. I can wait, I tell her, but yes, eventually. I want that too, she says. Are you sure? I smile. You know, twins are hereditary. She laughs. Nothing with you is ever simple, is it? No, I say. It really isn't. For a honeymoon, I plan to take her to Agra to see Taj Mahal, but Nessa wants to go to Warsaw instead. I want to see where you grew up. It's ugly, I tell her, and dangerous. The whole city isn't ugly, Nessa protests. There's places and palaces and parks and museums. How do you know? I looked it up on TripAdvisor. I shake my head, smiling at Nessa's endless optimism. She always finds the beautiful part of anything. Why would Warsaw be any different? Come on, she coaxes me. I really want to see it, and I do speak Polish now, somewhat. What do you mean, somewhat? I shrug. She puts her hand on her hip, frowning at me. How good is my Polish? Tell me the truth. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I don't want to lie to her either. It's about as good as a fourth grade child. I tell her. What? She shrieks. A clever fourth grade child, I hasten to add. That's not any better. It's a little better, I say. It's a very difficult language. How long did you take to learn English? Maybe a week, I say. That's not true at all, but she knows I'm teasing her. She tries to give me a playful smack. I'm too quick. I grab her and kiss her palm instead. Are we going to Poland or not? She demands. I kiss her again on the mouth this time. You know, I'll take you anywhere you want, Nessa. Chapter 34. Nessa. It's my wedding day. You picture that day from the time you're a little girl. You imagine what color you'll use, what favors will look like, you plan it down to the tiniest detail. Now it's here, and I don't give a damn about any of that. The only thing I'm picturing is the man waiting for me at the altar. I'm already bound to him, mind, body, and soul. All that's left to do is to say the word out loud. My mother helps me get ready in the morning. She tries to put on a cheerful face, but I can tell she's still worried about all of this. You're so young, she says more than once. Grandma got Grandma was younger than me when she got married. I remind her, holding up my left hand with its lovely old ring. I know. My mom sighs. My grandmother was a baby of her family just like me. She was wealthy, pampered, and tacitly betrothed to a banker 20 years senior. Then she got a flat tire on her bicycle riding down by the boardwalk. She wheeled it over to the closest garage. A young man pushed his way out from under a car, messy, sweaty, dressed in coveralls and coated in grease. That was my grandfather. They snuck out to see each other every chance they got. She said the first time they met up in a park, she wasn't even certain it was him because she hardly recognized him cleanly scrubbed. Eventually, they got caught, and her father swore to cut her off. Her father means her grandfather's father, swore to cut her off without a dime if she ever saw that boy again. They ran away together the next night. The ring she wore on her wedding day was just a cheap nickel plated band. My grandfather bought her the diamond 10 years later after he became the enforcer for the Caligans. My grandmother never spoke to her parents again. My mother knows that. It's why she gave me the ring in the end. She doesn't want the same thing to happen to us. She kisses me gently on the forehead. You look beautiful, Nessa, she says. Riona brings me my bouquet of white roses. It didn't bother. I didn't bother with the bridesmaid. So she's wearing her usual style of sheath dress, tight and smooth like armor. Her red hair is loose and bring around her shoulder. I like when you wear your hair like that, I tell her. I hate when it's on my face, she says, but I want it to look nice today. She sets the roses down next to me on the dressing table. When will your new ballet be done? She asks me. A few more months, I say. Is it another fairy tale? I don't know, I laugh. I don't know what is it yet. I'm experimenting. That's good, Rihanna says, nodding. I admire that. You do? I say, surprised. Yeah, she says. You're finding your own way. That's a good thing. Rihanna, I feel a pang of guilt. Didn't you want Grandma's ring? No, she frowns. I told you, I'm never getting married. How can you be so sure? She tosses her head. I know what I'm like, and I'm not romantic, and I can barely stand living with my own family. You never know, I tell her. You may be surprised who catches your eye someday. Riona shakes her head at me. You think that because you're a romantic, she says. Ada comes in to visit me last, bringing me a pair of her shoe, the one she wore at her own wedding, not even a year ago. It seems like one lifetime ago. There you go, she says. She looks at my ring, my bouquet, and my shoe. Now you have something old, something new, something borrowed, and do you have something blue? I blush. My underwear is blue, I tell her. She laughs. Perfect. She helps me slip on the shoe and buckle them. It's hard for me to bend all the way over in my dress. It's bright white with fitted sleeves of transparent lace, an open back, and full tuttled skirt. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see a full grown woman for the first time. I see who I was meant to be. My parents aren't very happy, I say to Ada. She shrugs. They weren't happy on my wedding day either. At least it was their idea. It doesn't matter, Ada says fiercely. Cal and I hated each other. You and Miko are crazy about each other. All that matters is passion. A marriage strangles and dies on empathy. Passion keeps it alive. So you don't think they were brilliant matchmakers? I tease her. Hell no, Ada laughs. It was pure luck. We didn't murder each other. Don't give your parents too much credit. I smile. I'm not getting cold feet. I've never been more sure of anything. I know, Ada says, hugging me. Come on, Cal's got your coat. I walk across the main floor toward the back door, where we are in Mikolaj's house. We are going to be married out in his garden. It doesn't matter that it's February. I couldn't marry him anywhere but here, under the dark, bare branches beneath a wide open sky. My brother wraps the thick white cloak around my shoulder. It trails behind me as long as a train of my dress. I step out into the garden and cross the grass. I don't feel the cold at all. The snow is drifting down, thick and soft. It makes the garden utterly quiet, muffling any sound from outside the high stone wall. My family is waiting for me, along with a dozen of Mikolaj's men. I see Clara standing next to Marcel, smiling excitedly. She's wearing the black gown from the attic underneath a long coat, and she looks absolutely gorgeous. Mikolaj waits for me beneath the archway of an empty trellis. He's wearing a simple black suit, his hair combed back. He looks slim and dark and impossibly handsome. My heart flutters like a bird at the sight of him. As soon as I reach him, he takes my hand. There's no priest or minister. My parents hate that we're not doing this in a Catholic church, but Miko isn't religious and I don't want anyone to say our vows but us. Mikolaj and I are marrying each other because we want to, for no other reason and under no one else's authority. Miko holds my hand tight and looks down into my eyes. Nessa, I love you every second of my life. I love you for exactly what you are and whatever you become. Anything you want, I'll make it happen for you. I'll never hold you back. I'll always tell you the truth. I'll keep you safe and happy at any cost. I swallow hard, not knowing if I can myself speak. My throat is tight with too much emotions. Mikolaj, I love you with all my heart. I promise you will be the only man in the world for me. I'll be your lover and your best friend. We'll do the hard things and the fun things. We'll make our choices together for the good for both of us. I'll always put you before anything else so that nothing can come between us. I give one quick glance over at my parents. I'm letting go of their approval, their influence. I meant what I said. Mikolaj is my priority now. Still, I'm glad to see they are smiling at me, at least a little. They want me to be happy. I look back at Mikolaj and I'm happy, fully and completely. He pulls me into a kiss and the rest of the world disappears. We are creating a new world now, with us at the center. The end. And the book ends here. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching and wait next week for the new video. Thanks so much. Like, share, and subscribe.